One.
Hello, everybody. Hello, I am so excited for today's live. I was trying to think of what I should call this because we're actually going to be doing a series of free live trainings every week. And I was like, what should I call this sucker? And then I was like, well, what do we do? Well, we help people learn how to do their own marketing stuff so they can get better results without, spending an arm and a leg, and also without attending the University of YouTube and getting advice from somebody who may or may not have any clue what they're talking about. And I was like, I know what to call it. I'm going to call it So That's How You Do It. So that is the name of this series of free marketing classes that we're doing on behalf of SizzleForce Marketing Academy. It's called the So That's How You Do It series. Okay, you guys with me? That's what we're going to be calling it from now on. So my name is Stephanie. I am the creator of SizzleForce Marketing Academy, your DI sorta Y marketing solution. So we teach you how to market your small business the right way the first time, based on 26 years of real world experience, okay? We're not these overnight marketers who just decided last week that we were gonna start a marketing company and charging people for it, right? We've been in the trenches, in the real world for 26 years doing this stuff, done it for huge brands that all of you guys have heard of, and done it for thousands and thousands of small businesses. And basically what we do here at SizzleForce Marketing Academy, and what we're going to be doing in the So That's How You Do It series, is teaching you guys how to avoid wasting time on all the marketing things that don't work and teaching you things that really do work. Okay. So given that I've been doing this since 1995, which quite frankly is hilarious when I watch all these overnight marketers, what I call overnight marketers, pop up. I'm like, I've been doing this since 1995, and a lot of them weren't even born then. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that I know a thing or two about marketing, and specifically about headlines, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Heavy hitting headline hacks. Okay, I dare you to try and say that 5 times fast. Heavy hitting headline hacks. Heavy hitting headline hacks. Heavy hitting, you're right, it's impossible, right? But it's a fun title, right? Heavy hitting headline hacks. Don't we all want some of that? I mean, if you guys have ever wished that you could quickly and easily write headlines that grab the attention of your audience, break them away from whatever it is that they're currently doing that has their attention, and write something that's powerful enough to make them go, ooh, you've got my attention, girlfriend. And then write something that motivates them to take the action of actually reading more about what you have to say, or listening to your podcast, or wherever you're using your headline, right? And appealing to the Google bots, so you show up higher in the search results. Well, my friends, you are in the right place, because that is what we are going to be talking about today. So please, you guys, invite a small business owner friend to join us right now. We want to help as many people as we can, because let's be honest, small business market was really hit hard by all the COVID stuff, between the closures and all the regulations and all that stuff. It has been a crazy time, especially for those of us that are in the states that have stricter regulations. Like I'm in California. Some people call it the Republic of California. I mean, my California business friends have been hit so hard. But I know we're not the only state, right? We're not the only country, for that matter. So my thought was, gosh, everyone's just been turned upside down by all of this nonsense. And it seems like we're kind of starting to crawl out of it. But then, okay, whoop, here comes the Delta variant, right? And now everyone is getting really nervous, scared again, and all of this stuff. And so how can I best help you guys? Well, how about some free marketing consulting? How about that? Sound good? Yeah, I think so. Tag a friend, invite a friend, who needs help marketing their business to join us right now. You guys can go ahead and let's see, you can tell them to, or you can share on this video on your timeline right now, or you can just tag somebody and invite them to watch and tell them, oh my gosh, they're laying it down here in this training. This is going to be good. Come join me. All right. So I'm going to dig in just a second here, but I wanted to give us a chance to, you know, let you guys know that we were indeed live and that people are coming on here. I am super into answering your questions. So if you have questions while I'm talking, please pop them in the chat. I'll answer as many of them as I can with the time that we have available. So headlines, let's talk about the power of a good headline. A good headline can make you millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars. Now, some of you guys might be like, yeah, but I'm not Coca-Cola. Yeah, I get that, okay? You don't have to be Coca-Cola, right? But even if you had a headline that made you $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, wouldn't you be excited? Yes, it can happen, you guys, because the headline is the key to getting people to continue reading or watching whatever it is that you have created. If your headline is written poorly, people are going to see it and then they are going to click off of it, disappear, and possibly never be heard from again. Now, here's a really interesting little factoid for you guys. 8 out of 10 people read headlines, okay? But listen to this. Only 2 out of 10 actually click through. I mean, that's huge. 8 out of 10 people reading something, but only 2 out of 10 are clicking through. Well, that tells you most headlines stink, right? Most of them are total just like loser headlines, which is why people aren't clicking through, and we need to change that. If we know that traffic can vary up to 500% based on a headline, well, we better get really good at writing really great headlines. So before you even start writing headlines or even brainstorming anything about what the actual words of your headline are going to be, there are 6 questions that you need to take the time to answer. And I encourage you guys, take some notes on these and write them down before you write your next headline, because this is important stuff. So first question is, what goals do your ideal clients want to reach? Okay, so think about, you know, what's their dream? What are they really after? They're doing business with you, or you could even think about it for your prospects, right? They might do business with a company like yours because they want to, what? Let's say lose weight as an example, okay? They want to lose weight. Now, you know, a lot of people want to lose weight. I'm one of them, right? But, you know, yes, I do want to lose weight, but you know what I want even more? I want to look smoking hot in my little black dress that I wear on date night with my husband. And so when you are answering this question of what goals do your clients really want to reach, I want you guys to write the basic answer, which is lose weight, or your variation of that. But then I want you to go a little deeper and get into the emotional part of this, right? Where I want to look super hot for my husband on date night in my little black dress, right? Okay. Question number 2, what do your ideal clients assume that they have to do that they really, really don't want to do to reach their goal? Okay. So just between you and me, this is only going to work if you have a solution that does not require their dreaded tactics. So, for example, for me to lose weight, am I making an assumption that I'm going to have to eat kale and like Brussels sprouts every day? Because if I am, that's just depressing. Okay, now I know there's some of you guys that are like Brussels sprout lovers. If you're a Brussels sprout lover, pop something in the comments right now and say you love them. I hate Brussels sprouts. And I know I've heard the whole thing. People say like, oh, you're just not cooking them right, whatever. No, we've cooked them all the ways, you guys. They smell bad. They taste bad. They are bad. Brussels sprouts are bad. Okay. So if somebody had a headline that I was reading that said I could lose enough weight to slide back into my, little black dress and look smoking hot for my husband, and I never had to eat one Brussels sprout in my life, well, they would have my attention. Okay. So the next question that you guys want to answer is, what are the surprising benefits you can share about your products or services? Okay. So for example, again, we're going to use this losing weight thing as an example here, just for the sake of simplicity, but you guys need to fill in the blanks for what you do, right? So all of us have some surprising benefits about our products or services. So in this case, let's say I am a chef, and as a chef, I help people lose some weight, okay, with the meals that I cook. So maybe I could say something like, oh, and all the meals I make are low in carbs, or all the meals I make are low in sodium or fat-free, or whatever you want to call it, right? Now, next question. What problems do your ideal customers have before they purchase your product or services? Okay, so in this example, it might be, well, they've tried all these other diets and they didn't work. They didn't get the results they wanted. So think about that. Okay, question number 5, how do these problems make them feel? Okay, in my case, I'll just be straight up honest with you guys right now. Sometimes when I've tried different weight loss tactics specifically, I try these things, I'm really disciplined, I do all the things I think I'm supposed to do, and it doesn't give me the results I want. And I start to feel discouraged, right? Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, I feel ugly. Right? And that's like even hard to say out loud to you guys, but it's true. Those are the real feelings that people have about this. And all of your prospects and customers have real feelings about why they need the solution that you offer. Final question that you need to answer is, what consequences might they face if they don't buy your products or services? In my example, I might continue hating the reflection in the mirror. And that's kind of a sucky way to live, because I have to look in the mirror every day, if for nothing else than to brush my hair or brush my teeth, right? And excuse me, you guys, I'm getting over being sick, so I apologize if I cough. I might also lack the energy I need to keep up with my 3 teenagers who are total spazzes and always want to spaz out. So these 6 questions are what you need to answer before you write anything. Okay, you guys clear on that? Let me review the questions with you. Number 1, what goals do your ideal clients want to reach? Number 2, what do your ideal clients assume they're going to have to do, but they really don't want to do? Number 3, what are the surprising benefits you can share about your products or services? Number 4, what problems do your ideal clients have before they purchase what you sell? Number 5, how do these problems make them feel? And get into the stuff that matters, you guys, the stuff that, we think in our own head, the stuff that we tell only our most trusted confidant, okay? And finally, the last question, what consequences might they face if they don't buy the solution that you offer? Okay, so what I want you guys to do is to answer these questions in one document, like whether you do it on good old-fashioned pen and paper or you open Google Docs and you do it there, doesn't really make any difference. I like to do this in Google Docs, and then I like to split my screen. Okay, so the left side of my screen is going to have the answers to these 6 questions, and the right side of my screen is going to be a brand new, fresh, clean slate document for me to take the next step in writing killer headlines. Okay, so split your screen or get 2 different pieces of paper, but keep that first one in front of you and accessible when you're writing the second one. Okay, so here's what's going to go on the second page or second piece of paper, whatever you are using. There are 8 elements of a great headline. Okay, number 1, you need to write in a way that is clear, not clever when it comes to headlines. Okay, this is a mistake I see people make all the time. They get real punny with their headline, or they nail the alliteration. And trust me, I love alliteration because I'm a copywriter, and what copywriter doesn't love alliteration, right? And I actually love puns because I'm total cheeseball, right? However, there is very, very, very rarely a place in headline writing for being punny or overly clever with alliterations or whatever it might be, right? Wordplay, things like that. Your goal here is not to show people how clever you are. Your goal here is to be really clear, because clear headlines are what makes people continue. If they have to think too hard about what you've written, they are gonna just pop this, disappear, right? I wish I could do that disappearing trick that they're doing on TikTok, like, and then I'm gone, but it doesn't work in real life. So 8 elements of a great headline. Number 1, write clear, not clever. Number 2, use lots of words. Okay, now you might be like, no, Stephanie, that flies in the face of everything I've ever heard. I'm supposed to write short headlines that only have 4 words in them. No, you're not, my friend. Actually, long headlines tell better stories, and long headlines get more engagement, right? So sometimes I'm writing headlines that might be 23 words, right? And you might be like, what? Say what, sister? Yeah, really. And you know what? It works. It really does work. So you want to use a lot of words in your headlines. It's also super important for you to write in an active voice. Now, a lot of times, especially if you're one of these people that feels, a little nervous about selling, you don't want to seem pushy, you don't want to, come across in the wrong way, you can have a tendency to write in a more passive voice. Okay, there's a place for passivity, but it is not in writing your headlines, my friends. You must write in an active voice. And if you're like, active voice versus passive voice, what's the difference? I don't remember, right? This is haunting me from high school English class. Do a quick Google search. I know Grammarly has a pretty good article on this. So do a quick search on the Grammarly article about active versus passive voice, and you can get a little refresher on that. Next up, include a number in your headline, okay? When you actually use a number, and I don't mean a number being spelled out, I mean a number, just the character, okay? So just the number 7. Well, that's backwards for you guys. Let's see. Is that, no, that's not it. It's really hard for me to do this on the screen and make it so you guys can see the number. But you need to get numbers in your headlines whenever you can. So you might say like the 7 best ways to blah, blah, blah. Now that's kind of a weak headline. Actually, not even kind of, that's a super weak headline. But the one thing that's right about it is that it has the number 7. Okay, and again, not spelled out, S-E-V-E-N. It is actually the numeral. And the reason why that works is because it's a pattern break, right? Your brain is processing all of these words, reading a headline. And when it sees a number, your brain kind of does a little hiccup. And it's like, oh, something different. And it starts to pay attention because it's something different than what it's been looking at. The next tip is for you to include keywords, okay? Keywords are what makes Google happy. So if you're trying to write a headline to get more people to read a blog that you've written, you need to get your keywords in that headline, okay? Super duper important to get those keywords in the headline. Now, do you need to get keywords in a headline for, an article that appears in print only? no, that doesn't matter as much, right? But if you're doing stuff online and you're trying to drive traffic somewhere, then yeah, that's an important element. Then you guys want to practice making your headlines very personal, okay? You want to include the word you in your headlines whenever you can, right? So saying things to people like, you know, this will help you, blah, 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 or slide back into your skinny jeans, right? Make it about them so they read it and they feel like, oh, this is about me. They're talking to me. Next up, keep it simple, okay? Your headline is not the place to wow people with your fancy vocabulary. I know somebody who is incredibly intelligent and has a lot of really interesting thoughts and perspectives on life, right? But this person tends to go on social media and share these very verbose, very academic type posts and a lot of long words, right? A lot of long words, a lot of fancy vocabulary, a lot of industry jargon, okay? And just overly creative word choices, okay? Most of the time, even though I really probably would be interested in seeing what this person has to say, a lot of the time when I'm scrolling on whatever social media network I'm on, I see what they write. I read the first couple of words. The words are too long. They're too complicated. They're too overwhelming. And I just click away or I keep scrolling because I'm like, I don't have the brain power for this. Okay. Now, could I understand it? Absolutely. I could understand it. I'm not dumb, right? But our brains are tired. Our brains are crowded. The marketplace is noisy. So keep things simple. Just speak to people in normal language. Use small words, people, okay? Use small words. If an 8th grader can't understand what the heck you're talking about, you're probably talking in the wrong way. You're probably writing headlines very poorly, right? It should actually probably be something like a 5th grader, right? It needs to be easy for anybody to understand. And so there you go. When you use the complex words, you just lose people before you even catch them. And then, you know, what's so sad about that is you spend all this time writing this article or creating this video or, you know, whatever it is that you're writing and you want someone to read, you know, building this brochure out or any marketing piece, and nobody reads all that stuff that you've spent all that time working on because you lost them at the headline. Keep your headlines simple. Now, my last tip on this part is perhaps my favorite tip and what I think to be the most important tip, which is be empathetic, okay? Here's the thing. People are struggling, okay? They just are. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling with this, that, or the other thing. Now, sometimes their struggles might be little, tiny, small bumps of the road, more inconveniences than anything. Sometimes their struggles are really big and really, really dramatic and really life impacting. Regardless of where your company falls, the solution that you guys sell falls in that spectrum, it's kind of indifferent. Either way, you need to be doing what we call writing headlines with a high emotional marketing value, okay? So write this down, emotional marketing value. There's a company called the Advanced Marketing Institute that's created this really cool tool that I really encourage you guys to check out. It's a free tool. And what it does is it measures the emotional marketing value of a headline that you're writing, okay? 90% of purchases are based on emotions. And if you guys don't know that, take note of that and write that down, because if 90% of purchases are based on emotions, but you're not writing headlines that are emotional, you are leaving so much money and so much opportunity on the table, okay? So you've got to weave the emotion into the headline. When you go to this tool and you enter a headline you've written, I'll tell you guys this. Most professional copywriters get at least, bare minimum, a 20% emotional marketing value in a headline that they write. A lot of us try to get higher than that. They say, even on their website, most professional copywriters get between 20 to 40%. I was working on a headline that I was writing last night. It was the first version I had written, and it came up at 44%, right? And I'm like, good, I'm getting emotional, right? I'm talking to people about things that they actually care about. And that's what's going to stop the scroll. And that's what's going to get them to read and really go all in and you know, give you more of their time, essentially. So again, that company is called the Advanced Marketing Institute. And you guys can just go online and find their free tool for measuring the emotional marketing value of the headlines that you write. Remember, the headlines are need to be emotional because 90% of purchases are based on emotions. Excuse me. So let's review here. Number one, you need to write clear, not clever. Number two, you need to write long headlines with lots and lots of words. Number three, you need to write in an active voice, not a passive voice. Number four, include a number, the character of the number, as often as you can. If you're trying to drive traffic to a website, you need to include keywords in your headlines, which is a whole other training that we'll probably end up doing at some point of, you know, how to figure out what your keywords should be and how to incorporate them into stuff. Next up, make it personal. Use that word you and your whenever you can. Keep it simple, very simple. Don't try and show people how smart you are and how fancy your vocabulary is. That's not going to do it for you. And finally, be empathetic. Be empathetic. Okay, so if you guys need some really good inspiration, excuse me, I'm going to get a drink really quick here. If you need some inspiration on how to write good headlines, the master headline writers are found at BuzzFeed.com. Go to BuzzFeed.com and just look at their headlines, okay? And if you start noticing the empathy, the use of numbers, the clarity, all the things that we just talked about, you're going to see some great examples and some inspiration that you guys can use to knock off and write your own headlines. They are great at it. You know, pre-internet, back in the dinosaur age, when I started my career, we used to go and we would look at magazine covers. You can still do that, right? I realize not as many people read magazines or newspapers as they used to, right? But you can look at the front page of a newspaper and you can scan the headlines. You can look at the cover of a magazine, scan the headlines and how they're being written. Take cues from what they're doing, because those headlines make you buy the paper. Those headlines make you buy the magazine. That's what makes you do the impulse buy at the grocery store. And you weren't planning to pick up a copy of People, but you saw that article about, you know, Blake Shelton, and you just couldn't refuse, right? So BuzzFeed.com, magazines, newspapers, all great examples for you guys. So I have more, though. I have more for you guys. I have a gift for you today. In addition to this free training, I want to give you guys some of my favorite headline writing formulas. And I use these often when writing for my private clients. I like to think of them as Mad Libs for marketing, right? Because literally all you have to do is fill in the blank and your headline will be written, okay? It's really very easy what I've done for you. And there's 6 different formulas that I've written. And you'll see when you get this worksheet, you'll see how simple it is to just drop a word in here or here or here, and poof, you've got 6 awesome headlines to test and play with and see what works for your audience. You have my full permission to take these formulas and duplicate them, test the snot out of them, and get yourself some awesome results. Get more people reading, watching, consuming, listening to, however they do it. Doesn't matter if it's you're writing a podcast headline, or you're writing a headline for a magazine article, or you're writing a headline for a blog, or you're writing a headline for a brochure, or you're writing a headline for anything. This works for all the headlines everywhere. Okay, so if you guys would like to get these 6 formulas, you can go ahead and you can go to SizzleForce.com/headlines. And there's a little opt-in there. You can just give me your email address and I'll fire it off your way. And no strings attached, it's just a gift, because that's what I feel like doing today. So that's what I'm doing. So the headline formulas, just so you guys know, also, I've used these with several of my private clients, as I mentioned. These formulas have brought in literally millions of dollars in sales. So if you don't want to think too hard and try to figure this out and spend too much time on that, just grab the freebies. Okay, so that, my friends, so that's how you do it with writing headlines that are really going to work for you guys. I invite you guys to join me again, because next Wednesday, again at 11 a.m. Pacific, I am going to do another training. And I have all kinds of awesome topics planned for you guys, but here's the deal. I want to give you what you need and what you really want. So if there's something that's stumbling you when it comes to your marketing strategy, or your copywriting, or your content development, throw it out at me. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. If you have my email address, if you have my phone number, whatever, send smoke signals. It doesn't matter, but tell me what you guys really want more information on, and I will tell you what I know, right? I want to help you guys. I want to help you guys make some progress and move your business forward and do it the right way. It makes me crazy when I see people investing a ton of money in these overnight marketing solutions, right? That really are somebody guessing at what might work, right? These are the things that I teach you guys are things that I know work. I know they work. They have been tested. They have been used, and they have proven results. Okay? So no, guess what? I'm not selling anything to you right now. There's no sales pitch. Isn't that nice? I know sometimes people are like, oh gosh, okay, so she's going to give me all this stuff and then she's going to lay a big pitch on me. No, I'm not. I'm not laying any pitch on you. I'm just offering to give you some free formulas for writing headlines, and that's it. So my friends, have an amazing day. And please start writing some headlines and tell me what works for you. I hope this was really helpful. I hope to see you again next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific on the SizzleForce Facebook page, which is facebook.com/SizzleForce. You might just want to save it. All right. Have an awesome day, you guys. Thanks for watching. I don't know how to stop this.